welcome back to our channel. Ruth here, and in today's video I'm excited to share with you how to keep your New Year's resolution. Now if you want to keep your New Year's resolution, you must do these 5 things. So let's get started. Number 1, you must set your vision and make it really clear. Now it's so important that we have a clear vision, because if you've got a clear vision, then you'll be able to do whatever it takes to actually walk towards that vision. But if your vision is not clear, guess what? You don't know where you're headed. You don't know the destination you're going, and it's going to be very difficult for you to actually put things in place to actually have that clear vision. So if you do not yet have a clear vision for your New Year's resolution goal, it's time for you to actually take a moment, grab a piece of paper and a pen, go into a quiet room somewhere and just write things down, or it could be a picture that you want to draw in relation to the vision that you want to achieve. So very important to actually have a clear vision, not a vague vision, but a clear vision. For example, if your vision for this coming new year is to lose 5 kilos, then that's your vision. You will be weighing, let's say, 60 kilos instead of 65 kilos. Or let's say your vision is to take your family on vacation by the end of the year. Then your vision will be something like, well, we want to be going for holidays in this particular location. And then you need to work backwards and go, well, how much money am I going to require to actually take my family on vacation in this particular location? You might want to start doing some research and write down, if it's $5,000, you want to write $5,000. That's your vision. You're going to get $5,000, whether it's just saved up or you're going to earn the $5,000 extra for that particular year. If your vision is, let's say, to pay off your credit card, first of all, you need to find out how much are you owing on your credit card. If it's $8,000 and 65 cents, write it down and say $8,000 and 65 cents. And then you're going to say, well, how am I actually going to pay off this credit card? Well, perhaps, if let's say you work for a company and you tend to spend $5 on a cup of coffee every day and $10 on a meal or a sandwich, maybe it's time for you to actually save and go, well, I'm actually going to make my own coffee. I'm going to pack my own lunch. And if you save, let's say, $20 a day, that's $100 a week. $100 a week is $5,200 for the whole year. And you can actually use that money to pay off your Visa card, or your credit card, sorry. So very important to have that clear vision as to what you want to accomplish. Don't just say, I want to pay off my credit card, I want to go on a vacation. Time to do research, time to face the reality, my friends. Number 2, set your working plan and make sure you set SMART goals. Now, it's so important that you actually plan in order to actually achieve your New Year's resolution. For example, a couple of years ago, before I got fairly busy with the current businesses I'm running, because at the moment I'm a partner in a law firm, I run a business consulting business and coaching, etc. I still do a little bit of fitness here and there, but a couple of years ago I was a lot more involved in the fitness sector. So what I used to say to my clients were, what is your goal? And they'll come to me and they'll say, well, my goal is to, in 8 months' time, it's my daughter's wedding, I want to get into this dress. So I say, well, how many, kgs, kilograms, in Australia we use kilograms, do you want to lose? And they'll say, well, we want to lose 5 kilos, we want to get rid of this, tuck shop arms, etc. So I'll sit down with them and say, okay, well, what's your current commitment? Because a lot of these people, the ladies that I used to train, they're workers, they're busy, they're moms, they're grandmas, So we sit down together and we say, okay, well, what are you eating currently? How's your daily routine like? We jot down the number of calories they're eating. And then we look at the physical activities that they're doing, and we see how we can actually work together with them to achieve the goals. So for example, if your goal is to become a little bit fitter, so let's say at the moment you probably don't do a lot of exercise, perhaps you're a mom, you have to work, you have to look after your kids, and you don't have time for yourself, right? Then I would say, well, if you're working and you get, let's say, a half an hour lunch break, instead of sitting in the office or going out to have a meal with your friend, your colleagues, Bring a pair of sneakers to work, and maybe, if you get, let's say, half an hour for lunch, you can actually eat at your desk like quickly for, say, 5 minutes, but then you'll use the 20 minutes then, to actually go out for a walk. And whilst you're having your walk, you can actually listen to something motivational that will help you improve in your area that you want to improve in. It could be a side business you want to start, could be a hobby, it could be anything. So, that's like a small adjustment that you can actually make. And sometimes I even say to my clients, because they say, oh, I can't go out during lunchtime, I have to be on the phone, I'm always on call. Then I say to them, well, when you're at work, do you sit down or do you stand? And they say, oh, we're seated all day. Then I say to them, well, clearly you can go for a loo break, right? And I used to tell my clients that, and some of them actually do that, so that when they go to the loo, which is the bathroom, they will actually do 20 squats in the loo. They'll go up and down, or sometimes they just do it on their desk. So I thought to myself, well, if you go to the bathroom 5 times a day, or if you even just stretch out, exactly where you are in your office, if you just stand up and sit back down, 20 times, and you do it, say, 3 times a day, that's 60 squats a day, so that's getting your exercise in. So I think the thing is, not all of us have the luxury to go to the gym for an hour, because perhaps you've got a family, you've got businesses to run. But I remember at one point, I didn't have a lot of time because I had all these things I needed to look after. So I used to have I give myself like a 15-minute lunch break. Or let's say if I'm in between training sessions, because as lawyers, we have to do lots of trainings, etc. I'll actually go to the gym in my home, because I've got a gym set up. And what I'll do is I'll put on like a nice motivational video or something about business, because that's going to help me in my business consulting business as well. So I would listen to Marcus Lemonis, and I would watch the show called The Profit. So they actually have a show called The Profit in 10 minutes. And they teach businesses on how to improve themselves, find out the areas of weaknesses so that they can strengthen themselves and be sustainable and grow, etc. So I'll put this show on for 10 minutes, right? And I'll be doing my squats, 10 minutes, my push-ups, and amazingly, I used to be a lot fitter back then. I could actually do 100 squats and 100 push-ups in less than 15 minutes. And that's because there's a deadline. I'm thinking I don't have an hour to do it. So what I'll do is I'll do 10 squats, and then I'll swap over and I'll do 10 push-ups, and then I'll go back and forth. And then by the time 15 minutes is up, I've had my lunch break, I've had my exercise, and I've had my motivational study for the day. So you can actually squeeze this in. And it could be that you're commuting to work, you want to improve yourself in your area of career. So let's say if you're a professional, if you're an accountant or a surgeon or a teacher, or an engineer, you could be listening to something, commuting to work on the way there, on the way back. Because if you commute, say 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back, that's 40 minutes. And you know what? That's automobile university. And you can really, really be the best in your field by just learning a little bit more than your colleagues. Okay, and so that's number 2. Number 3, do your MIT. MIT means the most important task. Now this is really important. If you want to keep to your New Year's resolution, you have to actually see the value of that particular resolution that you have. And so knowing your why is important. And I know that some of my clients and my students, they say to me, Ruth, can you help me out here? I'm starting a business, can you mentor me? Because I don't want to do an 8-to-5 job. I want to actually have like a real business so that, I can spend more time with my family. So that's their why, and it's strong. That's their purpose. And I say to them, look, I understand that you have got a lot of things going on right now. But as much as possible, you need to schedule you in your most important task. And what's your most important task? It's the one thing that you know that you can do right now that's going to make a difference in your family's life in 3 years' time, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time. So that when you look back on your life, you say, you know what? I've lived a life of no regrets. I've actually been a great role model for my kids. I've left a legacy behind. So if you're able to say that and just have that in mind, you'll be able to schedule in your most important tasks. For example, if your dream is to become a writer, okay, you want to write books and you want to sell them online, you want to be, you want that to replace your 8 to 5 job, then you need to actually write. Okay, so right now, no one might know who you are, but that's okay. Maybe every week, between, 7 to 9 o'clock at night, tell your family members, look, I can't watch Netflix with you on Tuesday nights. And let's say on Thursday nights, you tend to spend time with your friends, you go out for coffee for 5 hours. Maybe instead of that, you catch up for an hour straight after work, come home, and then spend 2 hours writing. And if you can spend, some time each week writing, and then in that 1 year, let's say in this coming year, you'll be able to finish your book. You can start to publish your book, because this one book might lead to something else. It could be financial freedom for your family, right? So it's non-negotiable. So make sure you schedule in your most important tasks and make sure as much as possible that you keep to it. Number 4, say no to distractions. Now, this is actually one of my favorite topics, and I know that it's not everyone's favorite topic. My husband do not like this topic because he tends to get distracted fairly easily with cat videos on YouTube or cute puppy videos. Sometimes I have to say, hello, come back to the world, like the real world. We're talking business here. It's like, oh, look at that cute puppy. He loves animals. But anyways, he's a really kind man. But it's important that we actually say no to distractions. Nowadays, there's so many distractions called notifications. We get notifications from Facebook, Twitter, emails, text messages, GroupMe, Telegram, Signal, what else? WhatsApp. You name it. There's so many distractions out there today. So I always advise my students, right? The ones who I mentor, I say, well, if it's your vision to, let's say, start a YouTube channel, or you want to bake, or you want to do a business, take your phone, turn off all the notifications, or better still, put it in another room, put it on silent, make sure you can't hear it, all right? But now I understand that some of my students are moms, and they, might be home, and the schools might be calling them, there's an emergency. So you might have to make different plans for it and have another phone maybe for emergency purposes. But as much as possible, put away all the distractions and focus on, just working on that project, whether it's for just a half an hour. If you can allocate half an hour, do it. Put away distraction. And then you can go back and check your Facebook Messenger and your text messages and emails and, but it's so important, because notifications is essentially us watching the world on how they're living their lives. But at the end of the day, what is your, you need to be able to use your time wisely. So you need to actually say no to distractions. And the other one is social distractions. I understand that sometimes, you want to spend time with your friends and your families, and they are important, right? But let's say you're used to spending, say, 5 hours coffee catch up with a girlfriend of yours. Maybe instead of having a 5-hour coffee catch up, you can say, well, I can dedicate an hour or 2 with them, and then you can come home and spend the rest working on your dreams and your goals. So it's not saying that you are cutting off your social life, but it's just to actually create that healthy boundary. And let's say you go, you know what, I feel like I need to lose weight, but I would love to catch up with a friend. By all means, instead of having coffee sitting there, go for a walk with your friend. You get that total physical body benefit and mental benefit as well at the same time, because you get to catch up and you get to have a workout at the same time. So I think that's a very effective way of catching up if you haven't actually tried that yet. So that's number 4, say no to distractions and set healthy boundaries. And finally, to keep your New Year's resolution, it's so important that we are flexible. As much as I'm a planner, one of the things that I don't like is actually change. But I know that every successful people tells me this. They say, well, if you want to see success, you need to be flexible. You need to review your plans, see what's working, revise, and, make changes if need be. So I hope that the 5 things were helpful for you, and I'm so excited about your New Year's resolution. So my question to you is, what are your New Year's resolution? You don't have to have just the one. You can have 3 New Year's resolution perhaps. So it's time for you to dream big, but definitely don't give up. And even if it's, even if let's say you're watching this video in May for that particular year, it's not too late, okay, to accomplish your dream, because you still have a couple of months to go before the 31st of December. So go for it. I'm cheering you to live your dreams. And thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our video today. And last but not least, would you be so kind to hit the like and subscribe button so we can keep you motivated? And you know what? It's going to mean the world to me. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.